The transfer window's open and MLS has its newest, oldest striker to add to Messi's supporting cast.
Acá estoy.
36-year-old Luis Suarez, a bromance reunited. He's Messi's mate and fellow mate connoisseur. Yes, Inter Miami signed the legendary, infamous Uruguayan striker to a one-year deal, bolstering the Barcelona roster, making sure Messi's got plenty of friends to barbecue with nearby and presumably fire them into the playoffs this time around. So, who is he? Well, the telling of Luis Suarez's career starts with a love story in Montevideo, Uruguay. Luis was born to a single mother who scrubbed floors to support her 7 boys, Luis, her middle child. At age 11, Luis already living for football, but he had to turn down a Uruguay youth call-up because he didn't have enough money to buy cleats. By age 15, Luis was adrift, he was partying, he was told by his club nacional that they planned to release him. But then, he met Sofia Balbi, a local student, he was immediately enamoured, and that relationship turned his life around. Sofia's family essentially taking Luis in. Back then, this was Luis's life. He would collect coins while working as a street sweeper, just so he could pay for dates with her. And when Sofia's family relocated to Barcelona, Luis was so enamoured, he took the first European gig that he could get his hands on. It was at Groningen, then a lowly club in northern Netherlands that had never won a trophy. Luis would say later, "I'd never heard of Groningen, but I knew it was closer to Barcelona than Montevideo was."
Suarez!
And that one season changed everything. 15 goals and 10 assists at Groningen launched a career that has seen Suarez put the ball in the net over 500 times at a rough rate of once every game and a half. Spread across 4 World Cups, 4 Copa Americas, one of which he won with Uruguay, 5 La Liga titles, 4 Copa del Reys, 3 Golden Boot awards, 2 Uruguayan titles, the Champions League, the League Cup, the Eredivisie, and a partridge in a pear tree. In 2007, he was snapped up for $8 million by Dutch superpower Ajax, then featuring sunglasses model Edgar Davids. Suarez scored 100 goals and received the captain's armband in his 3 seasons in Amsterdam.
Suarez!
January 2011, the Premier League came calling. A smiley kind of guy was how Liverpool boss Kenny Dalglish described Suarez when he arrived on deadline day for $29 million. And at Anfield, Suarez was a whirling, twirling, irrepressible attacking force alongside Daniel Sturridge, Steven Gerrard behind him. How clinical was he in front of goal? Well, I tell you this, he almost made Brendan Rodgers a Premier League winning manager. Suarez, also probably the single gent who did the most damage to the city of Norwich, well, since the Norman conquest.
El Pistolero has gone down Norwich City in the best possible style.
82 goals were littered over just 133 appearances at Liverpool, earning him a $92 million dream transfer to Barcelona. Then under Luis Enrique, finally scoring, blasting, dreaming himself to end up in the city where his now wife's family had moved to. And alongside Neymar and Leo Messi, you may recognise that name from his days in Miami, Suarez formed one of the best attacks this planet has ever seen. Known and feared by the initials MSN, Trio only went and won the dang treble, the forward line plundering a record 122 goals overall. The world was gifted so much opportunity to see Suarez's goal celebration, the one that involves kissing a finger for each of his 3 children and then his wedding ring. A love story to warm even the most frozen of tundra hearts.
The Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day.
And yet, when most think of Luis Suarez, they think of him along the similar lines that the Toronto Star wrote in 2013. He's the divviest, whiniest, annoyingest player on earth. That's a quote. And they went on to call him, I think, the most hated man in football.
And number 9 is Luis Suarez.
Well, the continent of Africa surely hates him for 2010. That's when he denied Ghana, the last African team left in the first tournament hosted on the African continent, blocking a late winner with his arms.
Suarez is sent off.
And then celebrating unapologetically in the mouth of the tunnel when the Ghanaians clanked the resulting penalty off the crossbar.
And he hits the bar. Unbelievable.
And so it was Uruguay that saw themselves into the semi-finals via a penalty shootout, while Ghana went home. And to this very day, they still consider Suarez El Diablo. Later, in December 2011, Suarez was handed an 8-match suspension, fined $50,000 for racially abusing Manchester United's Patrice Evra. Then, there's all the biting. Turns out, Suarez uses those buck-tooth chompers for more than just smiling. Let's relive every moment of dental violence, starting in 2010, when Luis was suspended 7 games for biting PSV Eindhoven's Artman Bakali on the shoulder. Dutch newspaper De Telegraaf dubbed him the Cannibal of Ajax, and Suarez, he apologised on Facebook, which might be the most peak 2010 thing to do. In 2013, now at Liverpool, Suarez got a 10-game ban for biting Chelsea's Branislav Ivanovic on the arm. It was shocking. Suarez later called Ivanovic to apologise. Ivanovic, for his part, called the whole incident, quote, really strange. Then, in the 2014 World Cup, Chewy Suarez was back at it, this time sinking those chompers into Italian defender Giorgio Chiellini with the entire world watching. The ensuing FIFA-wide 4-month ban even extended into the EA Sports game.
EA Sports.
He's out of the game. Suarez said, quote, I know biting appalls a lot of people, but it's relatively harmless. Punch someone and it's forgotten. There is no circus. Still, under pressure from his wife, tearfully fessing up after denying the Chiellini bite for 10 whole days, Suarez began attending therapy, and he's not bitten anyone since, at least not with his teeth. Though he did bite the hand that once fed him. Spurred by pride and revenge, Suarez led Atletico Madrid to a rare La Liga title over Barcelona when the Catalans had cut him loose, letting him leave for free in 2020. Barcelona were right. Suarez may have been physically declining, but they just got the timing very, very wrong. Like, look at this goal. When Luis Suarez collects a long ball from an Osasuna corner, his legs are gone, so rather than just run in on goal, he just shoots with his very first touch, left foot, from way out.
That's it! What a finish! Absolutely brilliant!
Yes, knee surgery caused Suarez to miss 149 days in the first half of 2020, and by now, the cartilage may be gone. It's bone on bone. Suarez has said it hurts to take his first limping steps in the morning. In an interview with a Brazilian radio station, Suarez admitted he can't even play football with his children and has to take 3 pills and have an injection before every game. But seemingly, incredibly, none of this has slowed Luis Suarez down.
Atletico Madrid are champions. They have done it.
A globally trending hashtag accompanied the campaign to return him to his first club, Uruguay's Nacional. A romantic return. 17 years after leaving, he was back at a club where they used to call him Pata Pala as a teen, Clubfoot or Donkey. Not anymore. Suarez only went and led them to the Primera Division title. And 6 months later, he was on the move again, this time to Grêmio in Brazil, where 30,000 Brain fans welcomed him at Grêmio Arena. On his debut, he scored 5 minutes into the game. Of course, he had a hat-trick wrapped up by half-time. Despite the injections, Suarez went on to play 52 games, racked up 4,557 minutes last season, scored 24 goals, added 17 assists all competitions, and picked up the Brasileirão Golden Ball as the tournament's best player. Season tickets to Grêmio jumped from 60,000 to 100,000. Suarez and his family cried as they waved goodbye, but despite the adulation, Suarez wants a new adventure. Who wouldn't want to hang out with their old mates? who wouldn't want to reignite the bromance with one Leo Messi? His family will now live in Miami, where Jordi Alba, Sergio Busquets and Tata Martino await them. Oh, these are great days to be in big Mate production. There may be no cartilage in Suarez's knee. He may hobble out of bed creaking and groaning. There's certainly no guarantees, but if there's one thing we've gleaned from the arc of Suarez's entire career, it's to never bet against him. Luis Suarez, he's a lover, he's a biter. He'll almost certainly score against your team.